Hello everybody, welcome today to Setúbal, Portugal, and we're in the Valley of the Barrels. As you can see, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. I'm not too sure why they call it the Valley of the Barrels. I'm not too sure what they're actually barreling out here. My first guess was fish, but it's probably wine. And I'm happy to say that the one bottle of wine that I enjoy is actually from this place. So that's pretty awesome. On one end there's a castle, and on the other end is an entirely different town. I know when I came here the first time, I started taking some photographs and I ended up getting stuck on the first couple of 100 meters of the road because there were so many beautiful things to photograph. So I thought, let me actually push myself a bit further and see what else is here, and then stumbled upon this beauty that we see out here. So, good place to be overall. I can feel the temperature rising with each passing minute, but sometimes those are the sacrifices you need to make, I guess. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about something that's very basic, I think. Maybe something that you would consider before even getting into photography, making that effort. And that's why you would actually want to do it. It takes a while to motivate yourself to do something that's new and requires effort and sometimes can even be expensive. So I think it's a question worthwhile asking before you actually embark on such a thing. And I thought I'd share with you one or two, some of the reasons why I feel like making this decision to get into photography was good for me. Perhaps it rings true for you, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but it might be something. So the first thing that I'll tell you is that, unfortunately, I guess, I have had depression for most of my adult life, and it sucks. It's a terrible, terrible thing to have to live with. I've done everything that's required with regards to medication and therapy, but you still live with it, and it's part of your life. It becomes part of who you are. And it's something that you need to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I think one of the things that I tend to struggle with on the very long list of symptoms that you have with depression is that general heavy feeling of not being able to motivate yourself to go out and do things. And I tend to find myself in a situation where I get stuck in the house. And when I say get stuck in the house, it's not like anyone's keeping me there. It's more the fact that I'm not able to motivate myself and get up and out of bed and into the shower and then out the door. For some reason that becomes quite a struggle, and it tends to keep me away from doing a lot of the things that I know would ordinarily make me happy. And I think that photography really has a special vibe about it, where it starts becoming something that you can use as a reason to actually wake up and get ready and take on the day, because you're going to do something. And you know, I fully understand that it might not be photography for everyone. It might be going to the gym. It might be even just taking a walk. Some people enjoy hiking. I'm certainly not one of them, as you can see. But it's important to have something that gets you motivated, something that you want to do. And I find that photography does that for me. You're able to actually do a lot of the things that a medical professional would tell you is good for you in terms of dealing with depression, or even if you're just feeling depressed, I guess. I think that it would work because it allows you to go outside into nature. It increases your heart rate because you're doing at least a little bit of walking. There's fresh air, and you certainly aren't at home. And I think that those things on the most basic level are things that anyone and everyone could benefit from, and I would encourage you to do it. There needs to be a reason why photography in itself as well is as special as I think it is, at least. And one of the big things that really makes a difference for me is the idea of mindset with regards to what you experience when you are taking photographs. I think taking photographs is an amazing thing because you're able to actually understand the world around you in a different way. And I don't mean that you're seeing new colors or imagining new things, but it's this incredible moment of being able to calm yourself and to focus on something that you find beautiful and interesting. And that's really almost meditative. And I think that being able to focus on those things that are almost signals to your brain that this is beautiful, this is gorgeous, this is fascinating. Those are things that don't necessarily happen on a day-to-day basis when you're just out there living your life. And I think that when you've got a camera in your hand, you're almost always looking for those kinds of situations, those kinds of opportunities. And I think that that's something pretty beautiful in and of itself. So getting up, leaving the house, coming out to a beautiful place like this, looking to capture something as beautiful as that, I think is something worthwhile doing. Being able to ask yourself the question, am I alive? Am I living? Am I experiencing the world? Am I doing something with my time on this planet? It's a deep question and it's a heavy question, and I don't know if there's an easy or quick answer to that, but I do find that doing things that make you feel that way certainly contribute towards a positive answer to that question. And photography certainly could be one of those things if you choose to embark on this journey. Another amazing thing about photography is the fact that it's not a contest. It's the fact that no one's going to win anything in terms of I am the best photographer that has ever lived or ever will live. It just doesn't work that way, because ultimately the pursuit here is to take the best photographs you can take, to create images that you love. And that's pretty special to me, because it puts you in a position where you can ask yourself the question of what kind of aesthetic is mine? What kind of photography in and of itself do I like? Do I like street photography? Do I like landscapes? Do I like shooting in a studio? Do I want to work for a corporate company taking product photographs? Whatever it might be is a question and an answer that only you can ask and answer. And I think that that's pretty amazing, because it takes a lot of the pressure off. I remember last year I was out in Chicago scrounging around for old lenses, old cheap lenses, and it was at a photography store that's the oldest one in America or the oldest one in the world, I'm not too sure. But the gentleman who owned it ended up having a conversation with me, which I thought really left a mark on me, and something that really encouraged me to actually start taking more photographs and to pursue more within the craft. And he said to me, he said, "You can't screw this up." Very basic knowledge, very direct and to the point, but completely true, because so long as you're out there living, taking photographs, enjoying your life, you're doing what you were supposed to do. And I sit and I think, so many times we have these high expectations of ourselves which are completely unrealistic and not even within the realms of what we would want to do anyway. But we discourage ourselves from pursuing those things because we don't think that we're going to be the best at it. And I think that that's so sad, because my photographs, I think, are photos that I like, photos that make me happy, photos of special moments and special times that I enjoyed, and they're special to me. I'm 100% certain that if I was to show my photographs to a critical and experienced eye, there would be a million things wrong with them. And some of those things I think are legitimate in the sense of being things that I could improve on so that my photographs for myself are better. But in general, it's a case of being like, well, this is who I am. This is the best that I could do. And that's enough. That's enough in photography, and it certainly is enough in life. And I think that when you're able to actually transpose that feeling of saying, hey, I'm going to do the best I can with what I have, with what I know, into your day-to-day life, your normal life, I think that it takes on a different light. You're actually able to push yourself as far as you can go, not necessarily how far you think you should go. You aren't going to be held back by something called failure, because there isn't any real failure. There's just you doing your best and hopefully improving as you go along. And that's what photography is about. This hobby to me has been such a gift in terms of learning about myself, because before we even get into technical aspects of photography, you start asking yourself basic questions of, how do I see the world? What are the things that I like? What makes me happy? What do I think is beautiful? What do I think is even just worth a photograph? It's an incredible thing to be able to work through that process, because it teaches you a lot about who you are. And with the infinite possibilities that are available with having a phone in your pocket that has generally a great camera, I think that you might be missing an opportunity to learn about yourself and to improve yourself in a very non-threatening way. And I hope that more people are actually able to take on that challenge, because it's a personal one and it's for yourself, and you can share your photographs, you can keep them to yourselves, but ultimately you're doing what you're supposed to do with your life. And I think that that is always going to be something truly special.